Hello, hello, hello. Good Tuesday afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Brain Buzz with Mike. We are coming to you live from the Braining Center in Leesburg, Virginia, and I am your brain coach, Mike Harrigan. I hope you're having an awesome Tuesday afternoon here. So we've had a little bit of Wi-Fi issues here. So hopefully this live webinar doesn't get interrupted by our Wi-Fi, but we'll do our best. Okay, so today we have an awesome topic. This is our last segment in our series related to sleep. We know how important sleep is, and today we're going to talk about brain hacks to enhance your sleep, to get better sleep, to be able to get to sleep and stay asleep better, right? And so remember, a little recap. Sleep is vitally important, one of the four most important things to the brain, right? We have 5 stages of sleep that we want to cycle through every night. We have a light sleep, then it gets a little deeper, and then a little deeper. Then we're in our deepest sleep, where we get a lot of things done, get a little toxins, and do a lot of cognitive enhancement. And then we have our REM sleep. But we need to cycle through those 5 stages many times, several times throughout the evening, right? And so we want to make sure we get good sound sleep. So today we'll start with a little bit of background about the brain, and so just very cursory information about the wavelengths. There's various wavelengths that the brain will actually be in at various times, right? You're always in various states of mind, and there's 5 general wavelengths and frequencies, if you will. There's delta, which is a deep sleep, and it's really the way it's measured is in hertz, right? So what determines what state of mind you're in or wavelength you're in is a kind of a synergized electrical impulse, kind of the average of what the electrical impulses that are taking place in your brain at that time, or in that region of your brain at that time. So delta is like 0 to 4 hertz, very low. You can have 0, but low hertz level, very slow electrical impulses. Next after that is theta, and that's when your hertz level is between 4 and 8. So you're still very tired, not in a deep sleep, but you're very tired, still very slow wavelengths. After that, as you start getting a little faster, you're in alpha, still a pretty slow wavelength. It's kind of a meditative state, kind of relaxed state, where a lot of creativity takes place, and that's kind of between 8 and 12 hertz. Then as you start to speed up, and that's kind of where you are right now, that's where I am right now, is in beta. That's somewhere between 12 and roughly 25 or 30 hertz, a little faster. That's your busy state of mind. And above that is gamma. That's more of a more excited state. Still important state, but more of an excited state. Today, though, we're going to talk more about trying to get ourselves to that theta state, so that we can then, as we're sleeping, work into our delta sleep, which is really where we want to be to get a lot of that work done as we sleep, right? Okay, so first, we're going to touch on some things that everybody should be doing and to help us get to sleep and have the right sleep patterns. And then we'll touch on some things that you can also try if you're having difficulty, if those aren't working. So first thing, we talked about this before, apnea. If you have apnea, get it taken care of. If you're snoring, do not ignore the snore. If you're snoring at night, if you're waking up gasping for air, if you have a full night's sleep but you're still tired, go see the doctor, see if you have apnea, and get that corrected if you do. Take care of it, all right? Second thing, exercise regularly, every day. If you can, every day. Even if it's just for 20 minutes. Regular exercise, get your body on a pattern where it's kind of regulated. And it helps you with everything, but really it helps you be able to get a better night's sleep. So even if it's 20 minutes of strenuous or rigorous exercise, try to get that in every day, all right? Third thing, we talked about this before as well, control your light intake. By light, I mean literally the lights. So how do we do that? Remember, our circadian rhythms are based on a 24-hour clock. That's how we evolved. And those that 24 clock that controls all of our systems in our body, or many of them, is kind of controlled by our light intake, because that's how we evolved. It was in daytime there was light, and at nighttime it was dark. So that's the way our bodies are meant to function. So get up in the morning, get some sunlight early in the morning, get more sunlight or light during the day. As you get later in the day, reduce the light in general. and definitely get rid of the blue light at night, which is in your electronics, because that will really mess with your system. All right, so control your light intake. Next thing that everybody should be doing is get a good sleep schedule. Set a time for when you're going to go to bed and when you're going to get up, and stick to it, even on weekends. We're all guilty of not doing this all the time, but do your best to try to get to sleep at the same time, get up at the same time. Your body gets into a rhythm, and you start to be able to fall asleep easier, get up easier, and have more productivity during the day. All right? Next thing, last thing, the things that everybody should be doing in general, and that is power down as it gets later in the day. When you get past your dinner time and start getting into the evening and getting closer to bedtime, start lowering the stress levels, start lowering the lights, right? Start lowering the anxieties. So what are some things you can do? First of all, if you have a lot of things going on in your life, a lot of things you're worried about getting done, write them down, make a list of things that you'll be doing tomorrow, make a to-do list for tomorrow, put it all on there, put it aside, and now you know, your brain will know, okay, that's being taken care of. It doesn't have to stress about it, okay? So make that to-do list for things you'll take care of the next day. Again, power down all your devices a couple hours before you go to bed, so you're not taking in that harmful blue light. Try not to engage in high-level or controversial conversation. If you have something important to bring up with your spouse or with your kids that could cause some anxiety or even a fight or a spat, don't bring it up an hour before you're going to bed. Take care of that earlier in the day. Let things start to calm down. Let your body start to calm down. Let your mind start to calm down as you get closer to bedtime. All right? And then another thing, just say I love you. Tell your family you love them. Try to engage in a more positive and relaxing conversation. That'll not only help you, it'll help relax them, and the more relaxed they are, the easier it'll be for you to sleep, okay? So say I love you, all right? Okay, those are things everybody should be doing all the time. Now, if you're still having difficulty getting to sleep, here are some other hacks, tricks that you can try to employ. And you might need to experiment with some of these depending on your circumstance, all right? First thing, if you are a heavy user of the snooze button, you set the alarm for 8, and then it goes off at 8:10, and then 8:20, and then 8:30, and on and on and on. Stop it. If you're a chronic snooze button user, stop it. Find out determine the time that you want to get up, set the alarm for that time, and do not use the snooze button. Force yourself to get up when you need to be getting up, all right? Second thing, if you drink caffeine and you're having trouble sleeping, think about when you're drinking that caffeine. If you're taking in caffeine later in the day, afternoon, you might want to cut the afternoon coffee or soda or caffeine out. Really, any caffeine like that after a certain, after the afternoon. There's a long half-life of caffeine. It stays in your body for a long time. So if you're having trouble and that's something that you engage in, cut that out. All right. Next thing, slow down your thoughts. We talked about that a little bit earlier. That kind of power down, right? But slow down your thoughts. And if you're still having trouble doing that, there's a couple of things you can try. Mindful meditation is fantastic for so many people, for so many reasons. It is a tremendous practice. It's used by top CEOs around the world. It's used by top athletes. It is a profoundly beneficial skill. It's something we're going to talk about more in a later discussion. But basically, mindfulness or mindful meditation is the ability to kind of take in thoughts, acknowledge them, right? You acknowledge that you had that thought. You don't pass any judgment on it. You don't think about what it means to you. You just acknowledge it and let it go. I actually let it into my mind, say to myself, that's a thought, and then visualize it floating away, wait for the next thought to come in. And there are different practices, different ways to engage in mindful meditation, but it's a powerful, powerful technique. And it's very helpful for many people in trying to get to sleep, okay? Next thing, napping. Believe it or not, taking a nap in the early or mid-afternoon is not necessarily a bad thing. There have been studies showing that for some people, this can be very beneficial. If you find yourself getting tired after lunch in the early afternoon, it's not a bad thing to take a half hour, even an hour-long nap, and then get up and take on the rest of the day, and you'll be tired again in the evening. So that might be something you can explore if you have that opportunity. All right? And then the next thing that you can try is what we call basically deep, slow breathing. We've talked about breathing and how important practice controlled breathing is for your mind, for your body, for your regulatory system, for everything. But there are certain types of breathing that you can try at night to help you get to sleep easier. One of them is called 4-7-8, and those numbers represent seconds, right? So what you do is you breathe in through your nose. Remember, we always try to breathe in through our nose. So we'll breathe in through our nose for a 4 count. So in as you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to hold your breath for 7. So it's 4-7. So you're going to hold it for 7 count, and then you're going to blow out your mouth, making a whoosh sound for 8 seconds. So it's 4-7-8. In for 4, hold for 7, release for 8 seconds. Now the hold, believe it or not, is the critical part here. What that allows your that 7-second holding allows the oxygen to get all the way into your lungs and then distribute it throughout your body before you take that 8 seconds to push all that poison, which is what you're pushing out, all that carbon dioxide out of your body. Okay, so it's 4-7-8. Try that. You do that. You do one breath. This is 4-7-8. That's considered one cycle. Do 4 cycles, 4 or 5 cycles of that. That should help you relax, help your body start to gel, to wind down, start moving you towards that theta state of mind. Okay. Another thing you could try. If you haven't replaced your mattresses in a long time, you find yourself tossing and turning, you find yourself maybe having some back problems or something, you might want to switch it out. It might be time every 5 to 10 years. Consumer Reports recommends that you replace your mattress. You might want to check that out and get a new mattress if that's the case. All right. And then one last hack that you can try is you can try to take a nice cozy bath. Okay. Nice warm bath. What that'll do is that'll lower your temperature. And then as you get out of the tub, your temperature is going to, or sorry, it'll raise your temperature. When you're in the tub, it's going to increase your temperature. Then when you get out of the tub, your temperature is going to drop. You're going to get colder again. And that's going to kind of mimic the natural drop that your body in temperature that your body has as it's preparing to get to sleep or as it's falling deeper into sleep. So you're kind of tricking the brain into thinking, okay, I'm starting to fall to sleep. And so for some people, that is a very powerful way to help them get to sleep. All right. So those are some tricks that you can try, some hacks, if you will, you could try if you're having difficulty. And then, of course, there are the other things we talked about at the beginning of this discussion that everybody should be doing no matter what. The light control, the exercise, taking care of apnea, winding down, those things everybody should do. All right. So, I'm sorry. There is one more. It just occurred to me. There's one more technique that if you're having difficulty, none of that other stuff is working, you can try something called progressive muscle relaxation. Okay. And so essentially what that is you're going to be tensing up various muscle groups of your body. You're going to start at the lower part of your body and tense up one muscle group for about 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds. Okay. And then you're going to release it. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by inhaling and say tensing up your thighs. And for 5 to 10 seconds, you're going to breathe in and tense up your thighs. And then you're going to exhale and relax. And as you're exhaling and relaxing that muscle group, think about how it feels and think about the tension falling out. Visualize, see the tension dripping out of your body through that muscle group. Then move on to the next muscle group. So if you start with the calves, then you move up to the thighs. And then after the thighs, move up to the buttocks and then the abdomens and the chest. Work up your body and tensing and then relaxing and feel the tension and stress work its way out of your body. All right? And visualize it. Actually see it. Believe it or not, chemical changes take place in your brain when you visualize things. It is a real, actual change that takes place in your brain through visualization. So use that. Use that. All right? Awesome. So, in conclusion, sleep is vital. Try to make sure you're getting a good night's sleep. Try some of these things if you're having difficulty. If you have any questions about this, as usual, you can contact me at brainingcenter@headstrong1.com. That's brainingcenter@headstrong1.com. And as always, remember, the brain and the body it's one unit, it's one system. What you do to one affects the other. If you help train one, you're helping to enhance the other. So take care of both of them. Think of them as one, not separate. All right. Thanks a lot. Hope this was helpful to you and hope you have a great rest of your week. Cheers.